HP Spectre 13 Review, the Ultra-Portable King. This is HP's golden boy, almost literally, as the 2016 Spectre 13 looks positively gorgeous with classy shiny gold detailing on the hinge and back edge of the 13-in laptop. Everything about the design is perfect, with not a single flaw to be found. The carbon fiber and aluminium chassis is reassuringly sturdy, and barely flex more than a single millimeter when put under pressure. Obviously, it's stunningly slim. At a mere 10.4 millimeters, it's more than a shade thinner than the 2016 MacBook, yet weighing 1.1 kg, it's just a tad heavier. With its 13-in display, the Spectre does have a relatively sizable footprint when compared to other top ultra-portables, but then you get the benefit or that slightly larger display, so it's well worth it. Performance and battery life. The HP Spectre 13 isn't just a pretty face, and there's a surprising amount of power squeezed inside. The dual-core 2.5 GHz Intel Core i7-6500U processor paired with 8 GB of RAM did a commendable job at tackling our demanding 4K benchmarking tests, with an overall score of 43. While this might at first seem low, you've got to remember this is a super thin ultra-portable and will never really surpass desktop-grade levels of performance. At this point, it's worth mentioning that its main competitor, the 2016 MacBook, which only has a choice of Core M processors, fared far worse in our tests with a score of only 27 on the Core M5 model. You should be able to run more graphically intensive games too, provided you tone down the resolution and graphics. Dirt Showdown ran reasonably well at 1920 by 1080 resolution on ultra-low settings with a 40.91 FPS average. Set the resolution down to 1280 by 720 and you'll be greeted with even greater FPS. Battery life is pretty decent, lasting 6 hours and 10 minutes in our continuous video playback test set to our standard screen brightness of 170 CD/M2. While this isn't the most impressive we've seen and is trumped by the MacBook's 10-hour-plus battery, the 4-cell 38 watt-hours battery lasts for longer than many ultra-portables we've seen of late. While you might not quite last a full workday on one charge, especially if you're running intense processor-heavy tasks, if you tinker with some of the power-saving options and lower the screen brightness, it should easily last much longer. Display. The Corning Gorilla Glass 13 in 1920 by 1080 IPS display is positively outstanding, especially for a laptop as thin as this. With our color calibrator picking up an sRGB color gamut coverage of 93.5%, it's just a slight fraction off total color coverage. At max brightness, the HP Spectre 13 dishes out 304.2 CD/M2, which makes the display perfectly usable both indoors and out. Ports and connections. With a device as gorgeously slim as this, you shouldn't really be all that surprised to find it's a little limiting when it comes down to ports and connections. Relegated to the back of the device, by the fans, you've got just one USB 3.1 Type-C and two Thunderbolt USB 3.1 Type-C ports.